I first met Robert when he was an 8th grader, and it was probably a few months before he came to Serra. He came and introduced himself. He says, "Coach, my name's Robert Woods, and I'm going to be a great player for you someday." And I said, "Wow!" I mean, just the way he came up, and it wasn't arrogant, but it was confident. And I think I knew before he even came here that he was going to be amazing. The way Robert was on the field was something I'd never seen before. You know, before all the years coaching when I got him, the way he competed was amazing, and that was kind of one of the things that I still use him as a barometer for other kids, and I reference him all the time, because it didn't matter if we were stretching, if we were doing a warm-up, it was like it was the most important thing there. And when you get your best player to do that, I mean, it makes everything real easy.
One thing I liked about him was just his character. His character is solid, and he makes every program better because of how he approaches it. And his leadership quality was great. When you see him on the practice field, he would compete.
Great. It was a good experience watching him, because I got to learn many things, because he was an outstanding leader on the field. Not even just on the field, but at the school too. He was a good role model. He helped kids around the school, and he was just like a big brother, and he just looked out for so many people.
Off the field, just a great kid, humble. You know, he had so much rep so early because he did so well, but you wouldn't know it. I mean, you could walk up to him and not know that he was the best player around. I think a very important moment in Robert's life was that the death of his sister, Olivia. I actually taught Olivia junior history, and she was an amazing young lady. And I didn't even know for the first 2 months that she had cancer. And I know she missed a few days here and there, and then sometimes she didn't look, you know, she looked kind of sick, but she just was, her personality was amazing. I mean, light up a room, and she was infectious. And then for her to leave us that year, you know, later that year, I think that for Robert, who was already a young man who had a lot on his shoulders and was mature, I think that really, kind of forced him to understand what was important in life, and to, he loved her very much, and he talked about her all the time. And I think when she left us, that was a big moment for him. Well, the two memories that I can get. The first one was an obvious one. Is when his senior year championship game. We're playing Oaks Christian, who was one of the top teams in the country, and we beat him. And he made, in the fourth quarter, he made every play. I mean, he made every play that had to be made. In the biggest moments, he just came in and he delivered, and everything. I mean, it was defensive, it was offensive, special teams. I mean, consecutively, and that's really why we won the game. The other moment is one that you wouldn't think, but we were playing his junior year. We were playing Carson High School, where he's from, and he was so excited to play him. Carson was very good at the time. They had just beaten Mater Dei, and they're a great team. And they double teamed him the whole game. He had one catch, I think, for 7 yards. And we won the game, and at the end of the game, he was jumping around, jumping on people, so excited. You would have thought he had 100 yards receiving, 100 yards. You would have thought he had the greatest game ever. The fact at that point, when knowing it was a game that he really wanted, and all that mattered was that we won. I mean, to me, that was one of my favorite moments with him, because I knew at that point, no matter what he did, if it was going to be football, if he was going to be selling cars, he was going to be amazing. I'm so excited. I already have the draft that day already planned out, and I'm excited to see. He deserves it. A kid who deserves that moment of, he's been such a selfless kid at USC, at Serra. He's been such a selfless kid that this is kind of a moment of individual, the draft. And while he would downplay it, because that's just kind of who he is, he deserves it. He deserves this moment of a spotlight on him that's saying that you are one of the best players in the world. And I think that it's going to be exciting when it happens. I can't wait. And wherever he goes, whoever takes him, they're going to get a great player, amazing competitor.
It's going to be an exciting day for his family. It's going to be an exciting day for him, and it's definitely going to be exciting for Scott. Because he's got an experienced kid for 4 years, and they're close, and it'll be fun.
It doesn't matter who picks him. I think he's going to do well. And, he will, if they ask him to be a slot receiver, an outside receiver, if they ask him to be a cornerback, I think he could do it. I mean, he throws himself into something.
It'll be great to see him in an NFL uniform and continue to do what he's doing.
It's going to be crazy, because I'm going to be like, damn, I went to school with him, and I know him and I know him personally, so it's gonna be a cool.
I've always believed that Robert, from day one that I had him, was going to be an amazing NFL football player, just because he does so much that a lot of people don't see. I mean, he puts the work in for the little things. I mean, he really believes in this kind of idea that success is in the details. And I think that you have to be that in the NFL. And I tell him every time I talk to him, I say, yeah, I tell him, Robert, I couldn't be more proud of you. It's not just about what you do on the field. It's just the way you carry yourself and everything he does and the way he leads. And I went to a practice one time at SC, and one of the receivers was loafing around, and all of a sudden, boom, there comes Robert jumping out there, and he's just in his dish. But he did it in a way that the receiver was like, okay, I get, without like undressing him and making him feel bad. He led in a way that I said, yeah, that's Robert. And I just remember being so proud of him and the man he had become, and he's still today. Just everything he does and the way he carries himself, and I'm real proud. A lot of the times when you coach, a lot of these young men, you spend so much time with them, they're like family. They're like having, I have 2 boys, but having them, is like having more sons. And he's just one of those kids that I point to my kids, to other people, and not even football, just point to him about what are the right things to do.